Okay, so am I audible? Hello? Yeah. So much crowd. Like I know most of you around like 50% I know. Okay, so how everything going? Here in this session only. Okay, so I'm quite excited for my session. This is the first time I'm here at JDG. So last time like when I was here, so then I was in college. So now I am here. So like who don't know me, I'm currently working at RedHat as a software engineer. Previously, I had worked at multiple firms in Bajaj Finserv, Hoichoi as a software engineer. So currently I'm working as a full stack developer and some DevOps stuff. I'm practicing some DevOps stuff. So what I'll be talking about, that will be a open source tool. I'll be mostly talking about the CD tools, and it'll be a interactive session. So you answer the question and get the goodies, okay. So there will be a lot of questions. So let's make it interactive. After that, we have the lunch. Okay, so excited? So yes, so much. Okay. Blacked out. Okay. Starting this session, I would like to say that how many of you know about CI/CD? Raise your hand. CI/CD. Web development? A lot of folks know. So these are the topics that I want to cover today. So I'll be talking about an open source tool, that is SPAship. And other than that, I'll be talking about Openshift, GCP, all those integration and how you can contribute, how you can share your knowledge into Openshift, how you can contribute into Openshift. So, yeah, just a minute. Yeah, so are you ready to interact? Now, so mainly I'll be talking about SPAship. So it's a open source tool that you will find at GitHub. We have the website spaship.io. So this is basically an open source platform for deploying, integrating, and managing of SPA. So what is SPA? Anyone knows what is SPA? This is how I cannot give the t-shirt. Raise your hand. There are hands. Single page application, a lot of folks already told. Okay. So what happened? Just a minute. Yeah. Let me get familiar with it. So how many of you have faced this trouble? Unexpected errors. Raise your hand. So whenever you deploy, you can see that you have deployed properly. You may get 403, you may get 404, but when you click on the URL, you won't find that where you have deployed. So whoever have deployed, whoever have worked with cloud or any deployment application, they have faced this issue that you can say that we have deployed our things, but this is not visible. There might be some SSL issue, there might be some issue with the deployment as well. So this is what happened to a developer when the properties or when the services have not deployed. So this is exactly what happened. Now, can anyone tell me that what are the problems in existing deployment tools? Like we know that there are a lot of deployment tools, we have Jenkins, we have a lot of other tools. But can anyone say what are the issues we face? Because there are multiple tools, there are tools which provide you good runtime, like good deployment times, but that is not integrated with the CD. CD, every one of you know CD. CD means continuous deployment. Sorry, yeah. Continuous integration and continuous deployment. So what are the problems we have in the existing deployment tool? Just raise your hand. Anyone? Yeah, you. What are the problems we have in the existing deployment tools? Anyone giving mic? 2 to 3 points will okay. Yeah. Louder.
Package problem, domain problem, SSL, all this stuff. Yeah. Library machines.
Library missing and more deployment times, you can say. And there are, we can face that there are version mismatch issues.
Version mismatch.
Yeah, please give him a t-shirt.
Thank
you. Yeah, the first is multiple configurations deployment. So whenever you will be a DevOps engineer, you don't need to code too much, but you have to play with lot of credentials, lot of deployment configs, you have to play with the YAML, you have to play with the Docker file, everything. There are a lot of things. If you miss one single character, your entire deployment might get down, right? Is it clear? So what problems we have in the existing deployment tools? The first one is multiple configurations for deployment, portability of the deployment tools. So this is one of the important topics, that is portability, right? So let's say you are deploying into a VM, like let's say RHEL VM, like Red Hat Enterprise Linux VM, or like you are trying to deploy in like some Azure. So you will find there are some portability issue. So it might happen that your CD is not running. Whatever comments you are adding in the CLI or the template, that is not running properly, right? So these are the issues we face. CI/CD issues for the deployments, large-scale implementation. So this is one of the issues we face. So how many of you are from CBSC? CBSC, ICSC? Yeah. So whenever you open your, any board, so whenever you click on your mark sheet, you just click on mark sheet and wait for another 1 hour to get that result, right? During your boards. So this is what happens when we don't have any large-scale implementations. So this is the problem for all, problem with all of the developers. So we will face deployment issue, we will face scaling issue. And there is another thing is more deployment time. Sometimes you are, let's say that you are deploying application which is around 500 MB or 600 MB. You can see you just click on the deploy and you can go into the lunch break, right? After that you came and you see that your property has not deployed yet, right? So these are the issues we face. All the developers are facing and you will face in future. Now, here is the, this is the open source tool. We'll be shortly integrating with the Openshift. So what is the key features of the SPAship? Or you can say that this SPA deployment platform, multi-tenancy with SPAship. So anyone knows what is multi-tenancy? Anyone has any idea, please? I need some hands from the back as well.
Multi-tenant system?
Yeah.
Multi-tenant system.
Multi-tenancy, yeah.
Yeah, multi-tenant means multiple tenants would be there.
Multiple tenants would be there. There will be more cluster, more namespace,
yes.
And we have to communicate it all. Yeah. We have limited t-shirts. Okay. So multi-tenancy is a software architecture in which a single instance of an application runs on server in multiple tenants. So, and there is another thing is stateless deployment engine. This is the feature we have. Stateless deployment engine means it will be, from the term we can say that it will be stateless. So it means we don't have any state, it won't be connected with the database, it won't be serving any static records, or it won't be serving any, you can say, any dynamic records, which we are adding into the database. So the first benefit of deployment engine is, it will be an on-the-go process. So API parsing, file handling, we can control Kubernetes objects and real-time event emission. So how many of you have faced problem with the logger? So if we go for any cloud environment, what do you have to do? You deploy your application, you get your access URL or anything, then you have to add a watcher or logger with that, right? At OnePlus, we don't have anything, right? Else you have to go to terminal and you have to read the logs, you have to extract the meanings from that, right? So we are developing this platform for everyone, one platform, everything. And this is, it can be integrated with the Openshift, it can be integrated with the GCP as well. So on top of Openshift, we have the GCP. In GCP, we're running the our deployment cluster. So we have the CLI support, we have the UI support. So I'll be going through all of these. And we are using Helm Package Manager and Docker for deployment. It will be a single-click deployment. And you can see that how easy it is to deploy using this tool. So now I'll be talking about the architecture. So this is a architecture of a multi-tenant. Just look at this architecture. When you go to the industry, I can see there are a lot of students over here, right? So when you go to the industry, you have to deal with this kind of architecture. So this is a kind of, you can say, MVC architecture, but if you look at this, you can see there is one client, there is one CI. So both are for the user interaction. We have the CI, we have the manager, then orchestrator and manager. So this is that server, orchestrator is the server from where you are controlling everything. Let's say that you are sending one request to Facebook. So where does it go? Into a server, right? So everything, whatever you can see in the internet, everything is a MVC architecture. Anyone can say what is MVC? I know that there are a lot of hands. There are a lot of, someone from the back. Yeah. Anyway, give.
MVC stands for view, model, and control.
And
controller.
could you please explain?
It is a model in which there is model which is basically data, and there is a controller which controls the UI.
Which controls the UI. More precise answer. Yeah, you are correct, but we are, okay, yeah. You are correct, but I need some more precise. Yeah.
Yeah, so models are basically where we keep our secrets. So we keep database passwords and things like that. So yeah, those are the types of data we store in models, and we also set up routes in models.
Yeah, business logics, you can say.
Yeah, business logics. Yeah. And in controllers, we basically define the paths, like let's say a user is visiting /app, where should it go? So those are the API endpoints. And views, we know, are the public pages. So the static pages which will be available to the
that will be in view. Correct. He is correct. Let's get a hand for him. He is correct. And this is a precise answer. Please give him a t-shirt. I need some hands from the middle as well. So here I am not getting, and at the back there. Okay. So deployment strategy. What is deployment? How many of you know about namespace? What is namespace? Namespace of Kubernetes. So let me tell you in a layman manner. So how can I say? Namespace is, let's say, you have, so how many of you are from UEM, SNU? So we have a lot of college which are under the MAC out, right? MAC out. We have so you are not under the MAC out, but we have some colleges. So we can say, let's say whatever college we have under the MAC out, so those are, we can say namespace, one namespace. And within that we have some branches and all. So namespace is that. You are allocating some property, you are allocating some cluster for deploying your configuration queue. I'm not going into the deep of queue configurations. I know that there are students which are currently in college and practicing Java and Python for the placement, right? So let's get a basic understanding about that. Yeah, so you can say in production we have, in the industry we have two types of environment, prod and pre-prod. So let's say that you have an application, let's say Google Cloud application. So basically when we'll be deploying our service into production, we into the industry, we need some environments. It can be dev, it can be UAT, it can be stage, prod. So you can see dev, prod, stage we have in the pre-prod server, and other than whatever namespace you need live, those will be in the prod cluster. Prod cluster means that your dean room and HR room, and these are your faculty rooms, pre-prod. So let's get the understanding like this. Now you can see how many times it takes to create an environment. So it's very tough to create an environment, right? You have to set a lot of configurations, lot of Helm chart, lot of a lot of deployment configs and all. So we are showing that using this SPAship you can deploy a single click. Using a single click you can deploy your application. I'll go through that. So you will not get the t-shirt for this, and what is the logo at the right hand side? Anyone knows beside the GCP? Openshift. Okay, so what Openshift does? Anyone? It's a Kubernetes distribution from RedHat. So see, you won't get the t-shirt. Yeah. So it's a Kubernetes distribution from the RedHat. So more of that in the slide you can Google and you can say, it's kind of a broker, you can say. It's a broker, it's basically a broker system, Openshift. So you can integrate Openshift anywhere. Let's say that how many of you know about Kubernetes? So from the morning, we are only talking about Kubernetes, kube, cluster, namespace, and all. So whenever you are trying to control the Kubernetes cluster, you need something like something running on top of it. Let's say that you have some computer at your home, right? You all have laptops, you all have computers. So if you are trying to deploy something in your computer, what do you have to do? You have to open the port, you have to make some security configs, you have to go to network, and you have to open some stuff, right? So you can see Red Hat is like Openshift is kind of that. It's a platform which is running on top of GCP. Here I am promoting GCP, so you can integrate any of the cloud vendors. It can be Azure, it can be AWS, but there are like many configurations might be there. And if you go to the Openshift doc, you will directly find some links. Using those links, you can directly integrate Openshift with GCP. So your VMs or your whatever resources all are in GCP, and you are basically installing a layer over that. And we are installing our product into that layer. So you can see there are storage. This is the platform, and this is the apps. So it will run into the Google Cloud. Now, just a minute. So this is how Openshift works with GCP. You can see there is Google Compute Engine. There are networks. Whatever resources we are consuming, whatever storage, whatever RAM, whatever we are consuming, everything will be provided by the GCP. And after that, we have the Openshift layer. Using Openshift, let's say you are developing an application, you want to scale it. So you can directly deploy your application into Openshift, and it will be running into GCP. Now, at first I told you that what is all about, like how can we scale our application. So how many of you know about Ansible? Anyone who know about Ansible? Ansible, more hands. Yeah, back. Ansible. What is Ansible? Anyone?
It is an infrastructure as code platform.
Infrastructure as code.
It's company like Terraform. So basically, while we want to suppose create an infrastructure, so we provide the configurations through a file and
Ansible handbook.
Handbook.
Yeah.
And I mean, I worked in Terraform, so that's all I know. That's the configuration you have to make, and then if you apply it, it will be the configuration.
Let's say that you are trying to deploy thousands of instances.
Right.
You can deploy that in one time. So
Right.
please give her a t-shirt. And so how many times it takes to boot a system at your lab, at your college lab? How many times it takes? It takes 1 minute, 2 minutes. So if I tell you to deploy 10,000 applications, 10,000, if I tell you to start 10,000 systems, how much time it will take? 2 days, 3 days? So using Ansible, you can do it within a couple of minutes. So this is the power of Ansible. So you just have to write some configurations, and you can see this is also, like we can plug this Ansible with Openshift, and which is running on top of GCP. So this is the power of Ansible. You can you can boot n number of applications. So there is the issue for, so Ansible solves the issue for the scaling. And what is this CI/CD? Anyone has any idea about CI/CD? Just raise your hand. Any idea about CI/CD? Anyone? We have limited swag, so there is no swag for this question. CI/CD, anyone? What? Continuous integration and continuous deployment. Continuous delivery, yeah. Yeah. So is this tool a CD? So yeah, it's a CD. So you can, so at first I told you there were some engine. So using this, using all those engines, you can directly deploy your application. So this is an end-to-end deployment, and at first I told you about the activity stream, like logger, how can you fetch all those logs? So there will be a real-time event emission. Using that, you can deploy your application, like you can log your application, you can monitor what is happening to your application. So yeah, and this is also integrated with the GitHub and GitLab. So how many of you have given the permission of Git repository? Have you ever given the permission? Have you ever generated the token? GitHub token. So using this tool, what you can do, you can directly integrate it with your GitHub. So what it will do, it will automatically create a branch for you. So it has that intelligent. It will automatically create a branch for you, and it will deploy it from there. And it will automatically create the branch for you. It will automatically create the image for you, and it will automatically deploy that image or push that image into your registry. So yeah, just a minute. So now I'll tell you that how easy it is to deploy your application using 5 steps. So the first step is create your web property. Second step is generate API key. So this one developer, like let's say we have someone from the IT team, or we have someone from someone from not from the engineering team. He or she can also deploy. So in Openshift you will get that. Create environment in one click, generate YAML file. So here you just need to put only two configuration. One is your website name, and another one is your path. So can we have this video running? Anyone? Just click on that link. Just click on that link. Let's see how it works. I know you all are hungry. I have few t-shirts for you. At last, I'll be having some couple of questions. Then we have some open mic. Yeah, just click on that video or click on demo. Click on the demo. Here, not there. Demo. You can see we are putting the title. Then we are putting the host name like your domain name. Then this is how we can create the environment. We are creating a dev environment. Go to environment configuration. You can see that your dev environment has been created within no time. Then we are creating another environment, that is qa.test.myname, whatever your domain is, and you can directly connect it with the Akamai. So if we go to the cluster, you can see already your dev environment, and this is the Openshift console. You can see your dev and stage has been created. Now I am creating the stage.test.myname. So you can see within 1 second, we are creating an environment, where it takes around 10 to 15 minutes to create an environment. You can see QA stage dev. Is it running? Yeah, just run it. Yeah. So we have 3 commands. One is init. It means I told you that you have to put your name, path, and is it a single page application? Yes. You can see so you need to just put some properties. We have generated the YAML file. This is very easy. Anyone can do that. Now we are deploying. So for deployment, we need the API key. From the UI, you can directly generate the API key. And this is your deployment link, everything you will find from the UI. Yeah, so you can see we are generating the API key from here. Copy the API key. Yeah. Build dir, this is your build folder where you have your compiled resource or whatever resource you have built. Yeah. Now you see it will take hardly 4 to 5 seconds to deploy your application. Yeah. So it took 5 seconds to deploy your application. So how much time it took? 30 seconds to create an environment and to deploy an application. And it will be available immediately. If you go here, if you click on the access URL, you can see your application has been deployed. So it was loading. Now you can see we have deployed the application in the dev environment. Now for deploying it in the QA environment, what do you have to do? You just need to change the URL, your deployment URL. Yeah, I'll take hardly 7 to 6 minutes. Yeah, just 7 to 8 minutes I'll take. Yeah, it took 4 seconds to deploy into another environment. Yeah, our environments are created, and you can see it has been deployed directly. So yeah, all those logs you can see at the activity stream. Just go to the slide. So this is how it makes our deployment easy. Click on the slide, not that. Just close it. Close it. I have few questions. Over that, yeah. Click on PPT JDG. Just close it. Yeah. Slideshow. Yeah. Open mic. Anyone has any questions? After that, I have few questions. Yeah, please. I know you all are hungry. Let's have a Q&A round. Anyone? Yeah, please. So I tried my best to keep this session crisp. So whatever session you had, it was around 40 to 50 minutes. It was completely descriptive. I tried my best. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi. So I was asking one thing that you mentioned stateless deployment engine. Can you explain it a bit more?
Stateless deployment engine means, let's say that you have two servers, okay. One server is connected with lot of configuration, lot of deployments, and you have another microservice which is doing only the deployment, which is not connected with anyone. So whatever you upload or whatever you deploy, everything will be clear after 1 second. It won't have any memory or any, you can say, any records. So this is how it works. Please.
Hey, hi. I've never used Openshift, but as you mentioned that creating dev environments and QA environments, then I mean we can use Docker. Then why should we go with Openshift?
We can use
Docker for that environment,
yes,
right?
so you will be deploying Docker here only.
Okay.
So whatever Docker file you write, let's say that you are trying to deploy that in Cube. So how you can manage your Cube? We have GKS, we have a lot of things, but for that you have to write the configurations, right? You have to write all those configurations for deploying, like creating your Cube, deploying that into the namespace. All are manual job, right? You have to write the features, write the settings in the configurations.
We can have a GitHub Actions for that.
You can have a GitHub Actions, but let's say that you have a GitHub Actions, but let's say that you are trying to do everything. So what you are saying that you have an action, you can directly crawl it, and you can directly deploy it. But using this, you will get a lot of features. So let's say that you are trying to create a namespace. Every time, you don't need to create that action. And we have this GitHub action mechanism over here. So when you deploy anything, when you register your property, that action will automatically called. So this is like when you create your Docker registry, so it will fetch that from there, and it will directly deploy in the Openshift. Yeah, you can mention everything, but that will not scale, right? So you can hardcode it, but what about that you are trying to create 10 properties at one time?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have any question, you may contact him online.
Okay. And we have 3 questions. These are the last 3 questions. Why we are shifting towards Docker for deployment? Anyone? I'm not asking this question for the VM guys or bare metal guys. Why we are shifting towards Docker deployment? Mike. Okay. Anyone from the back? We have one here. Okay. He has got one T-shirt.
I didn't take one.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, it's pocket friendly, obvious reason, and it's easier. It reduces
platform
a lot.
Independent.
Platform independent.
Platform independent. Yeah, if we have any T-shirt, give it to him. Okay.
Anyone?
And TD tools, anyone? Need of CD tools?
It takes a lot of time to compile and run, like for normal deployment. For example, I'm taking a React application. It will take a long 1 day to deploy.
Yeah.
But using CD tools, it can be done in like 1 or 2 hours, I think.
1 or 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it can be first, it depends on your application.
Yeah.
Please. And this is the last question. So how many of you are excited for this?
We have one here, please.
Yeah. 5 DevOps tools. Anyone?
Yeah, it's GitHub, GitRunner, GitHub, Rosetta, DevOps. I mean, in DevOps, Jenkins,
Docker, Kubernetes, Podman, Openshift.
You have told everything. There is nothing left for others.
I am a DevOps engineer.
Anyone other? You are correct, yeah. Yeah, Docker Swarm, KTS. Anyone? I need some answers. Just say. Jenkins, Ansible, Terraform, Puppet, Chef, Eureka, Zool. There are a lot of things, right? Okay, so thanks a lot. For, there are a lot of DevOps tools available. You can check out everything, whatever we have. It's all about DevOps currently, whatever you need for the deployment. So you can connect with me at LinkedIn. This is my YouTube channel. We can connect at Insta or Twitter. So yeah, thanks to everyone for attending. I know this is the last session and you all are hungry. Enjoy your lunch. Thanks a lot. I hope we can connect later. Thank you.